Hello fellow human beings, let's write some code. But before we do that, let's recap what happened in the last video. So previously on this series, no, I'm not gonna do that. Sorry about my cringe comedy or sense of humor. I'm just in a good mood and I hope you are too. So in the last video we created the sidebar, including a GraphQL that we used to fetch the latest 3 posts and show them here. And we created the footer. So let's commit these changes. Actually, before we do that, I want to mention that if we inspect, we can see that React has been complaining about us not adding this key property to iterators. So let's fix that. By the way, this key property is something that React uses to uniquely identify each member of an ordered or unordered list, and so we need to give it a unique value. So here, for when we loop through the posts, for each post, let's give, and that's actually why we fetched the ID. Let's give it as a key. So the key would be node.id. Did I type module or was that fixed? Node.id. And the other one I believe is inside of post. Post is here, and it's the tags. So for each ally, the key would be tag, which will be unique because we don't have repeating tags, and it doesn't have to be unique all across. So in the other unordered list, it's fine if we have a value that's the same as that. So if we save all files and it compiles again, we should, oops, let's go to the other one. We should see that that error is gone. Let's refresh. And there we go, we don't have that warning anymore. So let's create the single post page where we see our just one post. And before we do that, let's commit our changes. Let's stop the development server and run git add dot and get commit. And let's say created sidebar and footer, oops, and footer components. Okay. Let's start creating the single page post, or the single post page rather, and that will actually use a template and to create all the pages for those posts. So it's not going to go in the pages directory. So let's create a new folder called templates, because we're going to have other ones later. And in here, let's create single-post.js. It's bringing React. Actually, I'm using Emmet, so I could do RFC, I believe. I still don't like this format, but let's do this export. Default single post, and oops, here is const single post is this functional component, and let's bring in the layout. Go back one level to components/layout. What do we need? We need as well the sidebar. Import sidebar from components /sidebar. And okay, let's start writing our thing. So layout, inside the layout, we actually need, we're gonna run a query to get our post. So let's write that query first. Let's bring in GraphQL. So we're gonna be bringing a lot of stuff in this one template. Import GraphQL from Gatsby, and let's do our query. So export const post query. And if you notice, I did export because this is going to be not a static query, because it's going to receive a variable. It's going to be a dynamic query, and it's going to be executed automatically by GraphQL, and we're going to have the data in props.data. So the query is going to be query blog post by slug, and I'll explain the slug thing in a moment. Let's give, this takes a slug of type string with an exclamation mark, which means we have to receive this argument. and the query is gonna fetch markdown remark and the key, so fields, no, path is equal to slug. Okay, so we have ID. We're gonna need the HTML. We're gonna need front matter, and front matter we're gonna need the title, the author, the date, and we're gonna format that as well. So format, not dormant, format string, DO and quadruple Y, and we need the tags and the image. So image, and inside of that we need child image sharp, and inside of that we need the fluid, and we're gonna give this a max width of 700, and let's spread Gatsby image sharp fluid. I think this is it for the query. So this is going to be executed, and we're going to have that inside of props, but instead of receiving just props, we're only going to use the data. So let's just destructure the data, and to get the post from that would be const. Let's declare this const post, which is going to be data dot markdown remark dot front matter. Wait, is it dot front matter? Yeah, it's on front. It's dot front matter. Okay, so let's bring in the SEO so we can set the title of the page and all of that. Let's import SEO from, go back one level, components / SEO, and let's put that here. So SEO, and title is post.title. Let's close that. Let's have a header, and the header of the page will be the title of the post. Select this, and let's do our row here, and let's actually bring in some stuff from React Strap. So for now, row and column from React Strap, and I'm gonna have two columns, so col times 2 and press tab, and this one would snap at MD with the width of 8 units, and this one would snap to MD with the width of 4 units, and our sidebar will go here. Sidebar. We brought the sidebar in here, so let's put it's gonna be a card as well. Let's bring in this stuff. So card body, card. Are we gonna have a title? Actually, no, the title is gonna be the header, so we're just gonna need card subtitle. Yeah, I think that's it for now. We're gonna have badge as well for the tags. If you notice, this is a bit similar to the post component, but we're not using post because we're not gonna have a title. But that's not gonna be a problem because we're not gonna use this format anywhere else, so we don't need to give it its own component. Okay, so we need an image here, and actually we need to bring that in as well. Import img from Gatsby image, and our image would have a class name of card image top, and a fluid property of post.fluid. Yeah, post.image dot post.image dot child image sharp dot fluid, and let's close that, and let's have the card body here, card body, oops, tab, and card subtitle, where we have who posted this and by whom, I mean on when. So a span dot with a class of text info, which will have the date, so post dot date, which is formatted already, and then space by, and then let's give it a space here, and let's put another span of class text info, and this will have post dot author. Okay, let's move on to the actual content, which is going to be in a div, and which will use this property dangerously set inner HTML. If you're used to traditional HTML, this I think is just HTML. So here we'll take an object, do the property underscore HTML, and this will be data dot markdown remark dot HTML. Now we're gonna have tags, yeah. So ul dot post tags, and again you can have a look at the Sass and understand what this post tags class does. So post dot tags dot map, and for each tag we're actually just gonna return an li, and let's give the key this time of tag, and let's close this. Gonna have a link to open a template literal string with backticks /tag/ and then $, curly braces, slugify tag, and let's bring both these things in. So link from Gatsby and slugify from import slugify from util. Go back one level and then go, I don't know why I went down to that, I could have just typed it, but it's okay. So we have slugify, and inside of this link we're gonna have our badge. So badge, which will take a color property of primary, not but primary, and we'll have the tag's name as the content. And I think we're done with this template. So let's actually generate the pages. So let's go to this spooky, scary Gatsby node file, and you can go to this link actually to understand some of the lifecycle functions that happen in this file. But I'm gonna do some clever thing before we actually create the posts. So bear with me a moment. Let's bring in slugify from, no, actually not from, this is node. What am I doing? I didn't have to do all of that, by the way. Slugify equals require. So we go to source and util and utility functions, and we're gonna do export dot on create node, which I'll explain in a second, and we will destructure from the props of this, or from whatever object this had, node and actions, and we're gonna do the following. So on create node is executed each time one node is created in the GraphQL schema, and this can be anything. This can be a post, or it can be as well something in the file system like an image URL or whatever. So what I want to do now is this thing right here, this path. I don't want to, each time when we create a post we have to write the path ourselves. I want it to be automatically generated from the title. So we're gonna do that. We can create a new field in a node, and we can even transform it and do a bunch of things. So let's bring this method, this structure create, what is it, create node field, yes, from, not from, actions, and let's check, because we're gonna have a list of nodes, not a list of nodes rather, we're gonna have one node. Each time a node is created, we have this node. So we need to check the type of the node, because if this is just some other thing that's not a post, we don't want to add a field to it. So let's check node, if node.internal.type, which is some metadata about this node, which includes the type. So if the type is markdown remark, this means this is a markdown file. So it's probably definitely one of our posts. So we need to add this field to it. So let's do const slug from title, and that's a descriptive name if you ever saw one. And this would be slugify node.frontMatter.title. So we make a slug and let's add it to it. So create node field, and this will take our node and it will take the name of the field, and let's call that slug, and the value of the field, which will be this slug from title. And let's see if this is actually working. So before, we're not gonna generate any pages yet, let's just test this. So let's do Gatsby develop, and hopefully no error happens. Let's cross our fingers, or whatever superstition you have to guarantee good luck. And was that an error? Path is not defined. Where is this? Oh, no. Oh, but it's okay. We're gonna fix that. But let's go to GraphQL actually, and let's run a query. Let's get all markdown remark, and from that let's just get ID, because why not? Actually no, edges, and then node, and then let's get the ID of that, and let's get this thing that we just created. So fields slug. Let's get the title as well, just to check. Wait, what did I mess up? Oh no, this is in front matter. So let's get the title from that, and let's hit Control Enter, and there we go. So you see here we have the title and a slug that's automatically generated from that. So from now on, we're not going to use this path thing. We're not going to use it. We're going to remove it, and we're going to be using our slug instead. So we don't have to type it each time we create a new post. So let's actually change our code to suit that approach. So let's remove this path from all the markdown files, and let's save all files and close these because we don't need them anymore. And let's actually, let's see, I think we need to change something here. So we weren't fetching the path, so we match in fields not path but slug. So that GraphQL error will be gone. And here, where's path? Let's search for path. Path. No, where's the... Actually, we don't have any URL to that, so we're okay here. I think we're gonna change something here. So yeah, so here we don't fetch path, but instead, after the image, or after the front matter actually, we fetch fields slug, and here for each post we don't pass a path, but we pass a slug, and this slug is not in the front matter but in the fields. And then let's go edit that in post as well. We don't take a path, let's just rename this to slug, and wherever there is path we just give the slug thing. So slug, and now we have the automatically generated slug as the path, as the URL for each post. Okay, so let's go to Gatsby node and carry on. And now we're going to be working with a new function which is called create pages, which does exactly that, which is executed actually after all the nodes are created, and means after all of these have been executed, so we already have access to this slug. And we're going to destructure actions and GraphQL from this, and then we need create page from actions, and we need to bring in the template that we just created. So const single post a template, and we actually need path for this, so let's bring in path. So path equals require path. So with the path.resolve, now you don't have to understand all what I'm doing right here. Sometimes don't be overwhelmed. Sometimes there are certain things that you're going to use for a while before you actually understand thoroughly. So if there's one or two things that you don't understand, don't worry about it. Like, you'll be fine. Sometimes we don't know how cars work, but we still drive them and get to work. Okay, so we're gonna have a GraphQL query here on create pages. This is an asynchronous method, so it has to return a promise or use a callback. But we need a GraphQL query. I'm gonna explain in a second why. So markdown remark. Edges as per usual, node, and from the front matter we're only gonna need author and tags, and I'm gonna explain why in a second. And from fields we need the slug as well. Actually, maybe now we don't even need tags, or do we? Anyway, let's just leave it. Okay, so this returns a promise, so we need to do then result. So now we handle what happens when we get a result. Let's handle errors first. So if we have result.errors, then we need to reject this promise. So we return promise.reject, which is gonna stop it here, and this needs to report our errors back to us. If there's no errors, then let's get our posts. So const posts equals res.data all markdown remark edges. And let's loop through these posts. So post.for each, not door each, for each. And instead of using edge again, let's destructure node. So let's do it like this, node, and for each node we create a page. So create page, and this create page takes a path for that page, which will register this page to that path. So each time we visit that path, we get that page. And this path would be node.fields.slug, and this is why we fetched it from here, so you have access to it. You have to be careful sometimes when you wanted to use something here, you have to get it from GraphQL. This is one of the beauty things about GraphQL. You only fetch the data you need, which saves a lot on performance. So, and this needs a component, which is our template. So single post template. And what do we need? Yeah, context. We need to pass a variable, and context is a way that you use to pass something to your component that it will be used later. So here we need to pass our slug. So node.fields.slug. And actually we don't need tags, not for now at least. I think we need them later, but not now. So let's remove them for now. Let's actually put a comment here. I haven't been putting comments just to save some time. Don't wanna like inflate the so let's put the comment first. Passing slug for template to use to get post. So I don't want to put too many comments to inflate the time of these tutorials. You feel free to comment your code. I obviously highly recommend it. It's good practice. So that slug that we passed is gonna be available to our component, and it's gonna be used here to fetch this particular post, and then that data is going to be used here to display that post. So let's save everything. Let's stop because we edited the config file, and let's run the server, the development server again by running our favorite command, Gatsby develop. I think I fixed all the slug path shenanigans thing, and there's a problem here. From sidebar, yeah, I didn't actually. So here, instead of path to our posts, we need outside the front matters, I believe here, fields slug, and wherever we have path, let's search for the word path. So here, instead of front matter.path, we need to put what did I just do? Oh yeah, fields. For some reason I thought there was another one. Fields.slug, and this should fix that problem, and it does, because we're compiling assets now. Sometimes it gets stuck on compiling assets for no reason. I think it's actually running, so you can see, and there we go. Let's actually add some text to this. So just it actually, you can notice the difference between a regular card or when we're in the single post page. So let's copy that, paste and paste and paste and paste and paste and paste. Okay, and there we go. I mean, yeah, this looks like a copy pasta, but you get the vibe. So we have here just some text, and then when we click on that, we get the title here, we get the whole post. And yeah, this is the single post page, and we get our automatically generated slugs as we see here, and it's working fine. And even if we click on the button, yes, still goes to the same slug. And yeah, later obviously we're gonna have more stuff here. It's gonna look more complete with the social share buttons and all that stuff. In the next video, we're gonna be refactoring some of our code. For example, here we have in our post, we're repeating ourselves by having, no, actually not here. In the single post, we're having layout, and then we have to put the sidebar on all of them. We're gonna move all that code to the layout itself in the next video. Actually, let me commit here. So git commit. What have we done? We created single post pages and automatically generating slugs. Fantastic. By the way, feel free to ask if you have any like problems or any errors, if you encounter anything, or if you want me to do something else, or if there is something that maybe you don't like. For example, when I'm typing and saying what I'm typing at the same time, maybe it's okay for you, you're looking and you don't need me to read all the code that I'm writing. Any comments really, any constructive criticism is appreciated. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.